Force and pressure. Okay, so what is this force? Force is nothing but the push or pull on an object. Okay, so that is, if you are moving any object, for example, if you are just lifting a table or moving a chair or pushing a car, or if you are just opening a door, okay, either through push or pull, okay, everything requires a force, or every object is experiencing or applying a force due to another object. Okay, so in the following images you could see that a man is pushing a car and the players, that is hockey and football, so what they are doing, they just kicking or hitting the ball. Okay, and in the other examples the man is pulling this loaded vehicle and the horse is moving a chariot, and the last image the boys are pulling a rope. Okay, so in each and everything there is a force experienced by the other objects. Okay, so here the object can be either living or non-living thing. Okay, either living or non-living thing. Okay, so how can we experience, or how we know that a force is applied or a force is experienced? Okay, so that is only through the interaction between the two objects, or it can be two or more than two also. The interaction between two or more objects results in what? Results in a force. Okay, so here the interaction, okay, an interaction of one object on another object results in force between the two objects. Okay, so here if you could see in the below image, a man is pushing a car. Here who is applying the force is the man is applying a force over the car. Okay, so due to that force applied by the man, the car starts moving from that particular position. Okay, there is a change in the movement or change in the position of the car, right? So here if any object experiences or is experiencing a force, definitely there is an interaction between that specific objects. Okay, so here the force can be either in the same direction or it can be in the opposite direction also. Okay, and here if the force is in the same direction, what will happen? Or if the force is in the opposite direction, means what will be the result? So here we have an image which represents the net force of two different objects. Okay, so if two forces act on a body in the same direction, then the net force is the sum of the two forces. How we can explain that? We can take an example of a boat which is sailing on a river. Sailing on a river. If the boat moves in the direction of the river flows, the boat or the sailor no need to do any work there, or he no need to do any work there. Why? Because the boat is moving in the direction as the river moves. So even if the sailor applies any energy, means the boat will move faster. Here the force is getting added to the force of the river, that is a direction. Okay, if two forces are applied in the same direction, means then the net force or the total force is nothing but the sum of the force applied by the two objects, two or more than two objects. Okay, it will be the sum of the two forces. Now in the second case, suppose if one force is acting opposite to the other force, just imagine the same river and the same boat, but here the boat, now it is not moving in the direction of the river, it is moving against the direction of the river flows. So here whoever applies more force, then what? Then the object which is applying more force will move in that particular direction. Okay, so in this 2, which object is applying more force, then the other object will be moving in that particular direction. Okay, suppose if the river flow, okay, if the river flow has more force means, then the boat will move along that particular direction. Or if the sailor applies more force or more energy, consumes more energy means, then the boat will move against the direction of what? Direction of the river flow. So here we need to see which object has applied greater force. Okay, so if which object is applies greater force, so that particular object will move in that particular direction. Okay, so greater force, the object will move in the direction of the greater force. Okay, so here if you just see, if two forces acting on a body in opposite directions, the net force is the direction between the two forces. The net force is the direction of the two forces. That is, whichever object applies the more force over the other object, then the greater force, in which direction the greater force is applied, the object will move in that particular direction. Okay, so that particular direction. Okay. So now we'll just see what are the effects or what are the result we can see when I apply a force upon another objects. Here, what are the effects of force on an object? So here in the previous 2 examples, we just saw that when we apply a force, there is a movement. There is a movement in the object. So here when we apply a force, okay, when we apply a force, either a moving object will come to rest or a resting object can be moved. So here if you just observe, either the force can stop the object or it can move the object. So 2 things you can just apply here. So force can make an object to move from rest. In the other side, a force can move an object from rest on the other side, or the force can stop a moving object. So here you can write this separately. Okay, so 2 things, that is either a force can move a resting object or a force can stop a moving object. So 2 things. And next, what effect can it make? Okay, the force can reduce the speed of an object or the force can increase the speed of an object. Almost if you just observe, it is related to the above 2 points. Okay, so when you are just moving an object, the speed is increased, or when you are just trying to stop an object, the speed is decreased, which means you can change the speed of an object. Okay, you can change the speed of an object, whether it is moving or whether it is resting. You can change the speed by applying what? By applying the force, as well as you can change the direction too. You can change the direction of the object also. In this, I can just take an example of a football. Okay, so if you observe the football match, each and every player, they will not be hitting the ball in the same direction. They will hit the ball. Suppose if the ball is coming towards them, the player will not allow the ball to move in the same direction. The player will just divert the direction of the football. Okay, so that is what change. It can also change the direction of any object. Okay, and the last thing is the force, or force can even change the shape as well as the size of the object. Okay, shape and size of the object. So that is, you can just take a clay material. Okay, if you want to give any shape, what you will do, you will just apply a force. Okay, so some force through your fingers. Through your fingers, you just apply some force and you will just give a certain shape for that specific clay particles. Okay, so here what are the things or what are the effects of an object, force on an object is, it can make the object to move, or it can stop an moving object, it can change the speed as well as direction, and it can change the shape as well as size. Okay. So next we'll just see what are the types of forces. So what are the types of forces? We have two types of forces. One is the contact forces and another is the non-contact forces. So in the contact forces, what is the thing is, here both the object touch each other. The force can be experienced through a touch of an object over the other object. That is, contact forces are forces exerted by one object on another when they are in contact with each other. That is, there is a contact between the two objects, two or more than two objects. Okay, and in that contact forces we have two categories, that is the two types, that is muscular force and force of friction. Force of friction. Okay. And the second type is non-contact forces. Okay. Here are forces exerted by an object or by one object on another without any contact with each other. Here the force can be experienced by the object without touching each other or without contact with each other. Okay. So in this non-contact forces we have three different types, that is magnetic force, electrostatic force and gravitational force. Now we will just see first about the contact forces, then we will move on to the non-contact forces. So contact forces, in that contact forces we have the first force, that is the muscular force. So it is very simple and it is very easy to understand, that is what is a muscular force. So muscular force is the force exerted by the muscles of our body. In simple words, when we are running or when we are just lifting any object or when we are just moving any object, in each and everything we make use of our muscles. If you could see in the below images, a man is riding a bicycle. So here he uses the muscular force, that is his legs. Okay, he uses his legs to pedal, which means what? Which means he takes the help of his muscles. And in the other object you could see a girl is jumping the hurdle. So they are also running. So the girl uses the help of her muscles. And here in the other two images, the animals, they are also using their muscles. So the muscles, they are just applying some force, and that is nothing but called as a muscular force. Okay. And here in all the four examples you could see there is a contact with the other object. Okay. In all these four things you could see some contact with one object over the other object. Okay. So next we are going to see the force of friction. So here this force of friction is nothing but, in simple words we can just say, the grip or the attraction of one object over the other object. Okay. So force of friction is the force which opposes the motion of an object over a surface. Okay. So you will be studying this particular concept in detail in the coming chapters. Okay. So here for the time being we can just see the, okay, when a man walks upon a tiles and the same man walks upon the road, okay, walks on the road. Okay. In these two things you could see that a man who is walking upon the tiles, that is in the tiles the surface is very smooth and there is a possibility of getting sliding. Okay. Whereas upon the road, when you just see a man is walking on the road, the sliding is very rare. Okay, the sliding, that is skidding. Okay, so sliding is very rare because the surface, that is a road, is very rough and it has a grip. Okay, the attraction is more in the road, whereas the attraction in the tiles is bit less. That is, the grip is very less. Okay, that force of that attraction or the opposing force is nothing but force of friction. Okay, here we have some examples. A ball rolling on ground gradually slows down and comes to rest due to force of friction. That is, when you kick the ball, since the ball travels on the rough surface, so in the rough surface it has more friction and it opposes the ball which is moving in that specific direction. And in the same way, if we stop pedaling a bicycle, it gradually slows down and comes to stop due to the force of friction. Here it is also same. So we ride the bicycle on the roads, and as I said, in the roads the friction is more and the opposing force is also very more. Okay, it is more, since what? Due to that, the cycle, when we stop pedaling, the cycle automatically it slows down. Okay, so next we move on to the non-contact forces. So non-contact forces is nothing but, in this non-contact forces, there is no contact between one object and the other object. So in the below images you could see that two magnets. When you just move a magnet towards another magnet, either you could see a force of attraction or a force of repulsion, but that force exerted by one object is not in contact. Okay, that is, both the objects are not in contact with each other, but they experience the force. That is what type of force? That is either attraction or repulsion. Okay, so here this images, okay, you could see the images north south, south north, north and north, south and south. That is, the like poles will repel. The like poles will repel each other. That is, the force will just push the other object away, that is the other magnet away, when like poles come nearer. When the unlike poles are are moved nearer, what happens? The object starts, or the object tries to attract, or it tries to pull the other object towards it. Okay, so towards it. So you could see the images, that is north south and south north, the two magnets are coming towards each other, or they are just moving towards each other. In the other two images, the two magnets are moving away from each other. Okay, so here what type of force is exerted is nothing but non-contact forces. Okay, so magnetic force is nothing but what? Magnetic force is exerted between two magnets. Only magnets will experience the force. Okay, that is what? The magnetic force. And next is the electrostatic force. So this electrostatic force is based on the charges. Electrostatic force is based on the charges. Okay, charged objects or charged bodies. Okay, or one object will be charged and another object will be uncharged. Okay, the force exerted by these two objects is known as what? Electrostatic force. It is, electrostatic force is the force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body. Okay, so we can just take an example of a scale and a paper. Okay, so in the childhood you would have tried this. You will take a scale and you just rub over your head, and if you just take the scale nearer to a pieces of a paper, the paper starts getting attracted towards the scale. That is, here the scale is getting charged and the paper gets attracted towards the scale. That is, gets attracted towards the what? Towards the charged body. Okay, so this is what the meaning of electrostatic force. Here also we have two kinds of force exerted by the bodies, that is attractive and repulsive. Okay, attractive and repulsive. Okay. So here they are given an example. A plastic straw charged by rubbing with paper attracts a suspended plastic straw. So below images are nothing but the example or the representation of the examples. Okay. So here they are given two straw, and one straw is charged and another is not charged. Okay. So when the charged object moves towards the uncharged object, what happens? The object starts attracting. Whereas when both these straws are charged, okay, a plastic straw charged by rubbing with paper repels a suspended plastic charged by rubbing with paper. So here what happens, when both the objects are charged, what happens? There is a possibility of repelling each other. When the two straws are charged, what happens? They move away from each other due to the what? Due to the repulsive force experienced by the two straws. Okay. So in the electrostatic force, it deals with the charged and uncharged objects. Now we'll move on to the last non-contact force, that is gravitation force. So here in this gravitational force, it is only a attractive force, attractive towards the earth, or the force exerted by earth makes the other objects to get attracted or to move towards the earth. Okay. So gravitational force is the force exerted by the earth on all objects. It pulls all objects towards the earth. Okay, so here the gravitational force is nothing but the attractive force. In simple words, it is an attractive force. Okay. So in the below examples, you could see a boy is throwing a ball. When he throws the ball, after some time the ball is getting attracted towards the earth. In the second, the leaves which is faded up is what? It is just getting attracted towards the earth, and the waterfalls as well as the kite. Okay, so once the kite is cut, what happens? It just tries to land on the earth, which is the attractive. Okay, so gravitational force is nothing but attractive force, and that force is what? Exerted by the earth on all the objects. All the objects in sense, it includes living as well as non-living things. Now we'll move on to the next concept, that is the pressure. First of all, what is this pressure? Okay, so pressure is nothing but it is another form of a force, but it will act in a smaller area. Pressure is the force acting on unit area of the surface. Okay. So it is this pressure is another version of a force, okay, which will be acting on a specific area. Okay. So how we can represent this pressure? This pressure can be represented as force over area. Force over area. Okay. So if as the area is smaller, what happens? The pressure will be more. If the area is bigger, the pressure will be less. For example, we can just take a nail. Okay. If you could see the nail at the tip, it will be too sharp, whereas upon the head the area will be more than the tip. So what happens? The nail which has lesser area is placed upon the wall or a wood, and the nail which has a larger area will just hit upon it. Okay. So you could see it is easier to push a nail into a wooden plank by its pointed end than its head, because the pressure is more. Okay. So where the area is less, what happens? The pressure will be more. Okay. Area is less, the pressure will be more. Or it is easier to cut vegetables with sharp knife than a blunt knife, because the pressure is more. Okay, in this knife you could see one side it will be too sharp and the other side it will not be that much sharp. Okay, because here the sharper edge cuts easily. Okay, it cut the vegetables easily, whereas the blunt knife doesn't cut. Okay, doesn't cut as the sharper knife. Okay, and the third thing is shoulder bags have broad and not thin to reduce pressure. Okay, so if you just see the bags which we wear, okay, it has the area, okay, the area near the shoulders, it will be more. Why? Because if it is smaller, as the shouldered bags, okay, that bag stripe, if it is smaller or it is thin, what happens? It creates pressure upon the shoulder and it creates a pain over the shoulder. So to avoid that, what they'll do, they'll just make the stripes much thicker in sense much broader. The area of the stripes will be more. Okay, so first thing, pressure is what? Pressure is a force acting on a unit area of the surface. So how will you represent that? Pressure equals to force by area. Okay, so now we'll just see what are the different pressures exerted by the objects. So first thing is nothing but the liquids and gases. The pressure, what is the pressure exerted by the liquids and gases? In both the cases, in liquids and gases, what happens? The forces will be exerted upon the walls of the, it can be any container, okay, any container. So liquids exert pressure on the walls of the container. You could see that whenever there is a hole, okay, if I just poke a bottle which is filled with water, what happens? The water comes with a great force. Water comes out with a great force. Okay, whereas if I just poke in the center, okay, you could see that a bottle head that is open, okay, when the bottle is opened, what happens? The water will not be coming with a great force, but when the water, okay, so here what happens? The water exerts more pressure upon the walls. Okay, more pressure upon the walls. You could see in the below image, okay, in the below image, the two pipes, okay, so in the bottom they have just connected a balloon. Okay, so what happens? The balloon will be getting filled. Okay, the balloon will be getting filled, and when I just poke, when I just poke the balloon with a small pin, what happens? Okay, the water will be coming outside or the balloon will get burst. Due to what? Due to the pressure exerted by the water as well as the gas. Okay, water as well as the gas. Okay, and one more thing is, the pressure will be more as the water level, that is the height of the water is more, the pressure will be more. Okay, more upon the bottom. As the height or the level of the water is more, then what happens? When the water level is more means, then the pressure will be more upon the bottom. Pressure will be more upon the bottom. Okay, and the water, as I said, the water exerts pressure more upon the walls, that is a sideways and the bottom, side and bottom, it exerts more pressure. The same thing is applicable for the gases also. The same thing is applicable for the gases also. That is, if you can take a tube or a balloon, what happens when the balloon or the tube is as a hole on it, what happens? The air will be coming outwards with a great force. Okay, great force. Here the pressure of the gases will be more until the gas filled in that specific tube or balloon is more. If you have lesser air or less quantity or less volume, the pressure will be less. If you have more particles, more gas particles or more volume means the pressure will be more. Okay, so this is what the pressure exerted by the gases. And the last concept is atmospheric pressure. Here how we can define this atmospheric pressure is nothing but, this atmospheric pressure is seen in the sea and the land. Okay, so sea and the land, sea or ocean you can just say. There what happens, you have an idea about the sea breeze and land breeze. Okay, so sea breeze and land breeze, so that leads for the formation of rain, that sea breeze and land breeze. So here what happens means, okay, when the water, okay, during the daytime what happens, the water and the land both gets heated up, but the land gets hotter than the sea. The land gets much hotter than the sea. So what happens there, since the land gets more hotter, and that pressured air will move towards the sea. Okay, the pressured air move towards the sea, and during the night time what happens is the land will be what? Land will be cooled. Okay, so cooled faster than the sea. And what happens here, the sea, the pressure here on the land will be lesser than the pressure on the sea. And what happens, the air, that is a high pressure air, will move towards the land. So it will be repeated continuously until the pressure is balanced. Here in the daytime, the sea has lower pressure and the air will move towards the sea, and in the night time the land will be having low pressure and the air will be moving toward the lower pressure area. Okay, so this leads to the formation of rain, that is clouds, and later the rain gets formed. Okay, the formation of rain. Okay, so this is what we call it as a atmospheric pressure. Okay, the atmospheric pressure is the pressure of air around us. Okay, so atmospheric pressure is due to the weight of air. That is, weight of air means that here the high pressure and low pressure air. Okay, so what happens, the high pressure has more weight or more mass than the lower pressure, and what happens, they'll just move towards the low pressure area. And simultaneously what happens, during the night time the land its low pressure air, and what happens, the high pressure air will move towards the low, and this will be repeated again and again. Okay, and the cycle repeats. Okay, so this is what the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this is all about the chapter force and pressure. Okay, so thank you students.